What's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be breaking down the tones that I used on the song Coco. As you may know, I used the Archetype Plini plugin for all the guitar sounds on there, except for the classical. And I pretty much was just going to break down the three main patches that I used on there. But this plugin is insane. It has everything you need, compressor, overdrive, 3 different amps, which is, spoiling us, EQ, you can swap in your IRs, a bunch of different mics, delay and reverb. We're getting spoiled with this plugin, and that's what I like, is there's so many options. You can use it for pretty much every style that you would need, and I try to showcase that with Coco, with the heavier side, the super chill sounding side, and this plugin can take care of it all. So I'm just going to break down those 3 patches for you, and let's get right into it. The first one's going to be a slappy clean. I named it that because it's super percussive, it has a spankiness to it, and I just overall love it. It's that modern clean tone that everyone's kind of been after, and this plugin definitely makes it a lot easier to be able to get it. A few people ask me, like, oh, how do you get that? Whenever I was making it, you would hear the more of a gritness to it, but it's still clean, and I would always be like, how do they do that? So after messing with different pedals, different amps and stuff, I pretty much figured out that the distortion needs to be more of an aura for the tone, as according to masking it. So one thing with this plugin is the compressor has a gain knob on it, and this definitely helps. So I'll get right into this. This is going to be utilizing the first amp, and just have the compressor almost all the way up, and then the gain knob just definitely helped. So I'm going to put my split coil on and my middle pickup. And let me turn down this little gain knob right here, and you can still sounds nice and pretty. But when you add it, it sounds nice. I love it. And if you boost it all the way up, it's gonna sound, overdriven, but under that you can still hear the shimmer of the clean, and that's what's really cool about that. So I just wanted to add this as like a nice little flavor. Don't have the overdrive on for this one. Let's move on to the amp. Gain, it's up to here. Since this is a lower gain amp, you can kind of boost it a little bit. Have the bright on, just kind of tweak the knobs to my liking. And then the presence, oh, I love the presence on this thing. It was not too harsh like a lot of presence knobs are. So even when you pull it back, it has like a nice, but I wanted to add like a little more brightness to it. And that's the front of the amp right there. Let's move on to EQ. So one thing that I like to do when I'm EQing is more subtractive EQ, and basically what that means is you're going to be taking away frequencies more than adding them, and it's almost like you have a blank slate and then you sculpt the tone you want out of it. As you can see, just taking some things out that I'm not a fan of and keeping the stuff that I am a fan of, and every guitar is going to sound different, every pickup's going to sound different. So with the cab and the mics, basically what I did was I picked these mics and I love the way they sound, both of them. But the thing is, I put a distance of 0 for the left one, and then a distance all the way to the right for this one. And what I did with that is essentially, if you play this one, very intimate, a lot closer to you. And then if you play this one, it's a lot further away. It has more of a room sound to it. So when you blend them together, it fills the gap and it's a lot bigger sounding. So let's play that together now. And sounds great. everything on here just sounds really good. So it's like you kind of almost have to work to make it sound bad, but you know, I feel like that's a good thing. Let's move on to the heavy rhythm, and I'm going to use my bridge pickup for this one. I'm actually running right now. This is going to be a parallax bridge pickup from Kiesel, and going to be using the high gain amp, which sounds great. And as you can see right away, like I boosted the mid quite a bit just because I was a huge fan of the way that the mids came out in this particular amp. And I think even on the EQ I boosted a little more of the mids. And remember, I was telling you about subtractive EQ. It's kind of almost shooting myself in the foot in this one, but yeah, I just loved the way that the 1K to 2K sounded, so I boosted that a little bit and just took out a little of this, little of the flubbiness over here, and just sculpted the tone I want. So yeah, I love the way that sounds. The mids on this amp are great. Moving over to the compressor, did a decent amount of compression, a little bit of the gain right there. Didn't go too crazy on the drive. The tone, I love the tone of this overdrive. So, and then the level, you know, right about there, not too much. Let's go to the mics. Mics did a similar thing. I didn't want too much of a room sound, so I just added a little bit of distance to it, and then the close-up one on the left one. And then the EQ at the front of the amp right there. And then for the lead, I pretty much did the same settings as my high gain preset, but I, if I remember correctly, yeah, pulled back on the compressor a little bit, and obviously added some delay and reverb just so it sounds as big as possible. I just love the way that this amp has the mids in there. It's just, man, I can boost that to 10. I would still love it. Yeah, I just love the way that sounds. Okay, so yeah, with the reverb and delay settings, honestly, I didn't have a particular goal. I was just moving stuff around until I found a sound that I liked. So with this one, I just love the ping pong effect. It sounds awesome. Just going like back and forth. Dry, wet, and space and time was just, I had just like a decent amount of each. And I know Plini was recommending putting the space all the way up and then just moving the dry, wet to your liking. And I found that I really liked the way that sounded more on the clean patches than for the lead patches. But that's just my preference. So I just, you know, put it right here. And you have your roll-offs right here. Didn't really mess with these too much. Love the way, I kind of just love the way everything sounds like right off the bat. And it honestly just, it's about tweaking to your particular guitar or the sound that you're going for the song. You know, I just had to, every once in a while, just tweak certain settings if it wasn't fitting in the mix right, and getting the sound going in that I wanted. Everything in here is very useful, honestly. It's everything has a purpose, and everything can be, I feel like there's like a million things that you can do with this, just with all the different combinations. And it could seem like it's a little overwhelming, but once you get the hang of what everything does and the roles that they play within each other, and you can make every type of tone based off that. So yeah, just overall love this plugin. And those were my settings just for the Coco, but I have a few that I made just overall in general. I'm messing around with different ones every other day, and there's, you know, different ones for different guitars and whatnot, but I'm pretty sure everybody knows by now this plugin kicks ass. So I hope that helped a little bit, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, I love it. Oh, God.